Hello everybody, welcome into the channel. My name is Hako and today I'm gonna teach you all you need to know about Zhu Yuan. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've been calling it Zhu Yuan because that's kind of how it's spelled. Then I've heard her introduce herself in game and I think it's Zhu Yuan. So let's get into what makes her tick. Now Zhu Yuan is a easy to pick up, hard to master kind of deal. She's a combo reliant, resource reliant DPS which requires you to have a little bit of understanding of how she works. Now her bread and butter is her enhanced shot shells, so her special ammo that she can gain in various ways. Now she gains some ammo when she does a special attack, she gains some ammo at the end of her basic attack string, she gains some ammo when she uses her ultimate and when she uses a quick assist, etc. Most stuff in the game will reward you with a little bit of ammo. And these enhanced shot shells are then depleted to make very powerful attacks, namely holding down the attack button and entering into suppressive mode, where you will do a series of very hard-hitting gunshots that each and every one will take one ammo away from the counter. So her gameplay is very much getting ammo, using ammo, getting ammo, using ammo. Like that is her bread and butter. Reload your gun, use up your gun, reload your gun, use up your gun. Being smart enough to save up your ammo for the crucial moment to unleash hell is gonna be vital in learning Zhu Yuan. Now Zhu Yuan does increased damage on stunned enemies, and this is by a lot, which is also why running her with a stunner is non-negotiable in my guides, and she should also be run with a support, namely Nicole. So, for her core skill, Special Ops Ammunition. When Zhu Yuan is under suppressive mode, using enhanced shot shells increases her damage by 33%. When attacking stun enemies, this damage buff is increased by an additional 33.3%, so it doubles. When Zhu Yuan enters the battlefield, she immediately gains 6 enhanced shot shells. So when you spawn in with a little bit of shot shells, which is nice, because in content where you're not getting energy, at the start when all of your characters are starting out dry, she takes a little while to get going, as does any other team in the game. Additional ability, Tactical Coordination, when another character in your squad is a support character or shares the same faction. Now this one is important, she's the only one that has this wording. When another character in your squad is a support. So any support, it doesn't matter where they come from, just any support. But this also means that it's not necessarily enough to team her up with another Ether character. Now the only other Ether character in the game happens to be a support, so that is taken care of anyway, and that is Nicole. So when her passive is activated, Zhu Yuan's crit rate is increased by 30% for 10 seconds after using an EX special attack, chain attack, or ultimate. This is absolutely huge. My guys in Christ, I'm not sure if you can wrap your head around how freaking much this is. Now, if you're lucky enough to pair this up with her W engine, you just from this and her W engine with no additional stats at all, you're gonna have 45% crit rate, which is absolutely insane. Or if you have Nekomanta's engine, for example, you're gonna have even more. This is an insane ability, and it basically takes away much need to even have crit rate on her. You can just dunk in as much as you can in crit damage, and still be all right. So, what makes her a little bit special is when you hold her basic attack, she enters suppressive mode. No, hold on a sec. Alright, Cat wanted to come up and help with the guy. So, when you hold down her basic attack, she will enter into suppressive mode. And this is where you're gonna be expending your ammo. This is her main source of damage, her main source of actually using up all of the enhanced shot shells that you've been gathering up. And you do this by holding down the button, and just as with Grace, you can move while doing this, so you will kind of sidestep while shooting, which can be very handy to dodge attacks. And if you don't hold it, you just press, you will do her normal attack in what do they call it? Assault mode, where you have your basic attack string consisting of kicks and a shot at the end. And while you're using this skill, you can also move around, and the last attack will give you back an enhanced shot shell. For her dodge, she's kinda your standard characters, although her dash attack does use up one of her bullets if it's available. So her dash attack expends a bullet, but her dodge counter actually regains a bullet. So if you time a dodge correctly, you can gain a bullet back this way. And this is also gonna be your bread and butter when it comes to mastering Zhu Yuan. It's a lot of switching out, there's a lot of like doing the right calls at the right moments. Are you completely out of ammo? Well, then maybe doing a dodge counter to get one ammo back might be the right option, or switching into another character that can trigger a quick assist might be the right option. And now on her assist, you can see assist follow-up, which is when you switch in at just the right time, so Zhu Yuan takes the field and like takes the blow from the enemy, or like parries it. If you follow up with an attack after this, you will also reload 3 bullets. Now this is very, very freaking handy to know. For her special attack, now this one is used for 2 things in general. It does an alright amount of damage, but the main reason why the special attack is so good is 1, it recharges 3 shots. It gives you 3 enhanced shot shells. And if we remember from the passive, it also triggers her passive and increases her crit rate by 30%. So it's a good reload, and it gives you the crit buff, and it also does damage. Now you don't need to hold this one because there is no hold. It's a simple press, and you throw out a grenade, and it will reload your gun, and you will have an extra crit. For a chain attack, now this one is also very freaking good. It deals a significant amount of damage, but more importantly, it also recharges her shot shells. You gain 3 shot shells whenever you do a chain attack. And if we remember from her passive, she does a lot of increased damage to stunned enemies, yeah? And a chain attack happens when you attack a stunned enemy, so she is very incentivized to stun enemies and capitalize from that. Ultimate max eradication mode. When you have enough decibel, you press the alt button and you use a modified master firearm to execute a saturated attack, firing lasers and seeking missiles, deal massive ET damage. Upon activation, gain 3 enhanced shot shells. Now this one is also very freaking handy. So if these ones come in order, like you first do a chain attack, then when you land you do an ultimate, you will have reloaded back 6 enhanced shot shells. Now with some cinemas this will be even more. Now this is very, very good, because if this is happening, it means that you have the enemy is stunned, which means that you will do a lot of increased damage, and you will have enough ammo to like unleash hell upon the enemy as soon as you can. So the ways you can reload the enhanced shot shells for Zhu Yuan is as follows. You get 1 for finishing your basic attack combo, you get 3 for doing an EX special, you get 3 for doing a chain attack, and you get 3 for doing an ultimate. Then you get 1 from a quick assist, and you get 1 from a perfect dodge. Now Zhu Yuan has 2 ways of using her enhanced shot shells. One is the one you will be using 95% of all the time. This is where most of your ammo will go. It's holding down the attack button, and you will then enter the suppressive mode where Zhu Yuan will be crouching down. Now you will be starting shooting ether bullets at the enemy, with every bullet costing 1 of your enhanced shot shells. Now if you press either left or right, you will do a dodge roll and then fire away a shot, and if you have 1 ammo available, you will use that enhanced shot shell to do an ether attack. So this is her dash attack, and this is how you activate it. Now important to note here is that you will see a damage drop off if you have not leveled her dodge attacks, because this does not factor into her basic attack damage skill level. This is instead her dodge level that it scales off. So that makes it quite important to level, because this is a very useful skill on Zhu Yuan. And now moving on to Zhu Yuan's build. I would recommend that you go 4 pieces chaotic metal and then a 2-piece woodpecker electro. You can also go a 2-piece swing jazz. Energy regen is important because one of her main sources of reloading is gonna be through her EX special attack. So energy regen is always good if you want a little bit extra crit. Maybe you have gotten lucky on your energy substats. Then I'd suggest going woodpecker electro for your 2-piece. And chaotic metal because it boosts ether damage, and she can make a very good use of it. You can also go a 4-piece woodpecker electro with a 2-piece chaotic metal. They are kinda similar in performance, although there will be some drop off. Although if you in general have like better substats on the woodpecker electro, it will pull ahead. But my recommendation, 4-piece Chaotic Metal and 2-piece Woodpecker Electro. And for disc 4, you either want crit rate or crit damage. Now, she already gets an insane amount of crit rate from her passive ability. And if you have her W engine, she gets an insane amount of crit rate from that one as well. So I'd say mostly go for crit damage as the main stat, if you can, especially if you have W engine. I don't have a good crit damage piece on her, so I go crit rate for now. 45 piece, I've seen people discuss it, I've seen people do calculations, I've done some calculations myself. If you have some cinemas on her, then ether damage will really pull ahead. But if you do not, ether damage, pen ratio percentage, and attack percentage are kinda similar in performance. So you can go either of those and then let the substats decide which one you go for. And for her substats, she wants crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, energy regen, and pen. I keep forgetting the pen exists. And for the top piece, I'd say either go attack percentage or energy regen with a slight favor for attack percentage. As for her W engines, it's a little bit of a tricky situation. I got lucky enough to have her signature one, the Riot Suppressor Mark 6, and this one is very good. It saw a change slightly before release. It used to give an increased amount of ether damage done, but instead they're now giving us crit rate, which means that at level 40 this one gives me an insane amount of crit damage and insane amount of crit rate. This one is obviously very good, and it's gonna be her best one in the game if you've gotten lucky enough to have this one. As for other options, you can go Steel Cushion. When you're not doing ether damage with your attacks, you're gonna be doing physical damage, so you benefit a little bit for it. And since you can move around while basic attacking, getting behind an enemy is actually much easier than I thought it would be. So Steel Cushion is gonna be your second best bet. If for some godforsaken reason you have Deep Sea Visitor, which is Ellen's signature one, but you don't have an Ellen, I'm not sure how that would come to be, but please tell me in the comments. If that is the case, you can also use Deep Sea Visitor, although a lot will be lost. You're not gonna be able to take advantage of the ice damage, but you can take advantage of the massive amount of crit rate. Other options are the Starlight Engine, which is probably gonna be your second best A rank right after the Rotor, which is the Battle Pass attack weapon. You can also go Street Superstar, that will make her ult hit even harder. At some point I'm gonna level one of these up just to see how crazy we can get her ultimate. But yeah, her signature one, obviously, otherwise you can go Starlight Engine, or if you have the attack one from the Battle Pass. Sorry, that's not the right one. In here. If you manage to get Cannon Rotor, this is gonna be her absolute best A rank engine. And it has crit rate as an advanced stat, and the effect of it is not bad at all. Unlike a very free-to-play friendly option is the Starlight Engine. You can buy it in the store on the 6th Street as well, the gadget store, Box Galaxy. So, moving on, and now for Sudian's cinemas. Now, I just need to say that no one of these is needed to use Sudian. She works absolutely fine without, and she is an absolute unit nevertheless. But if you got unlucky enough to get several Sudians, they are pretty decent. The first one, Quick Reload. When Sudian activates a chain attack or ultimate, she gains the Quick Reload effect. When Sudian has the Quick Reload effect and uses up all enhanced shot shells, the Quick Reload effect will be consumed to instantly gain 2 or 9 enhanced shot shells. So this is 6 shot shells if you've done a chain attack, and it's 9 shot shells if you've done an ultimate. And these will kick in as soon as your magazine is empty. So once you then reach 0 ammo, it will instantly pop up to either 6 or 9. Now this one is honestly one of her very, very freaking best ones. And originally I was only planning on going for C1, just because this is very, very convenient. But then I got lucky enough that when I got my C1 Sudian, I actually pulled 2 Sudians on the same 10 pull. Link in the description to the entire pulling session if you wanna see it. And her number 2, Ether Amber. In suppressive mode, Sudian's anti-interrupt level is increased and damage taken reduced by 10%. When Sudian hits an enemy with enhanced shot shells, the target takes 10% more ether damage from basic attack, please do not resist, and dash attack overwhelming firepower, stacking up to 5 times and lasting for 5 seconds. Each shot adds 1 stack of this effect, and repeat the triggers reset the duration. Now this one is also really freaking good. It might not be as convenient or maybe as fun as the first one, but you can definitely see those numbers ramping up. And I would say that C2 is a good stopping point. I would say C1 is a good stopping point. I wouldn't honestly recommend going past this, but for the whales watching, Cinema 3 will increase all of the skills a little bit. Number 4, when Zhu Yuan hits an enemy with enhanced shot shells, her basic attack, please do not resist, and dash attack overwhelming firepower, ignore 25% of the target's ether resistance. Now this will obviously give her a big boost in damage. And for number 6, when Zhu Yuan consumes a total of 12 enhanced shot shells, she receives the ether afterglow effect, and the energy cost of the next EX special attack is reduced by 30. Launching an EX special attack will consume ether afterglow and shoot an additional 4 bullet ether buckshot. Each extra bullet deals damage equal to 220% of Zhu Yuan's attack. Now this one is obviously insane, and it will skyrocket her damage. If you have the means, by all means, go for it. I don't think it's the most fun or the most crazy one in the game, but she will hit like a goddamn monster if you have this, obviously. But none of the cinemas are needed. I'd say stay at either 1 or 2. But don't let me stop you from wailing. Now when it comes to Zhu Yuan's teams, you have some options. A very free-to-play friendly option is Zhu Yuan, Anbi and Nicole. Nicole is Zhu Yuan's best support. Nicole increases ether damage done by your allies, and she totally shreds enemies' defenses. Anbi acts as a stunner. Now, if you remember, Zhu Yuan does a lot of increased damage to stunned enemies, so I say that a stunner is mandatory in a Zhu Yuan team if you want to use her proficiently or efficiently. And we got both Anbi and Nicole for free, and this team will do you wonders. And the bang for this is Resonabo, which is a very good bang. It works if you have 2 ether characters in the team. Although it is super strong just as it is, so even if you run Zhu Yuan in a constellation that doesn't have Nicole, so you don't have enough characters to activate the ether, I would say you can still run it, because grouping up enemies is always gonna be good. An A rank option is obviously Devil Boo, which also requires 2 ether characters to work, and it's really good. So either Resonaba or Ether Boo. For this, you can also go Boo Resher to gain some more energy back, because you need energy to reload your gun. Now the constellation I've been running looks something like this, just because I want to get some use out of my Khalida. Now in this team, Khalida obviously doesn't get her passive working, but I choose to run it either way. It works. And remember, Zhu Yuan is very flexible. Since she doesn't need another ether character, she only needs another support, so you could run a team like this with Zhu Yuan, Rina and Lycon. Now this team is a little bit all over the place, and a lot of buffs are gonna go a little bit wasted, but it could definitely work with a Butler Bangbu. It is an option, although I would stick with Nicole. I find Nicole to kind of be she is so good for Zhu Yuan that she is also non-negotiable for me. So it's just a question of which support or which standard do I bring. And right now the standard that can activate or have everything activated is Anbi. Zhu Yuan is flexible, but she does want the support to have her passive skill activated, and that's also non-negotiable. You will miss out on 30% crit rate. Not taking advantage of that is straight up stupid, so please don't. Slow or quietly, don't. So you could also, for example, run a team like this. Now this team would also work, and I've actually taken it for a spin, and it's not half bad, although I prefer Nicole. In a team like this, you would, I guess, prefer to have Cryboo or Rocket Boo if you got unlucky enough to have Rocket Boo. But yeah, everybody's is activated here because Zhu Yuan only needs a support, and Lucy is a support, and Lucy is a very strong support at that. And in this constellation, Khalida actually gets activated. Important to note when it comes to Zhu Yuan is that her sidekick, she's gonna be the next banner character coming out after Zhu Yuan. And she's a stun character and obviously tailor-made to kind of work with Zhu Yuan. So if you are planning on pulling for her, Keep in mind that whatever stunner you choose is just gonna be like a placeholder stunner until you get King E. And now, at the end of all things, let's have some gameplay tips about Zhu Yuan. Now, you can set the rotation for her in stone, really, because everything is so dependent on how much ammo you got. I would say the number one thing to do is to make sure that you kinda have enough ammo to unleash hell on an enemy when you're about to stun them. So your stunner is gonna play a very vital role in a team with Zhu Yuan, and you really wanna make sure that when the enemy goes down, when they're stunned, that you preferably have a full magazine to go, maybe you just done a chain attack, and that you have your passive activated so you can benefit out of the 30 crit rate. Because this window of having the enemy stunned is gonna be your DPS window. And this is where you really melt stuff down. Also, her shots are piercing. That's also why Nicole are so freaking good. Because if you can get the enemies grouped up in one single spot, you can actually get in shots on all of them. And remember that her Combat 101 is her ammo management. And there are several ways to regain ammo in the game. I'll smack it out on the screen again. These are your ways of reloading, and most things will reload. And running Zhu Yuan with units that automatically allows her to quick assist in is very freaking efficient. Now, one of these ways of reload is especially strong because it doesn't require any additional resource. It doesn't require energy, it doesn't require decibels. And it's the assist follow-up. And you can trigger this by switching into Zhu Yuan at the right time, so Zhu Yuan will come in and like do a parry. Then the follow-up attack from that will actually reload 3 bullets into the magazine. And this is huge. This is the same amount of bullets you get from the ultimate and from the chain attack and from the EX special, but you don't need to do anything except just time it a little bit right. So this is a very strong way of getting some ammo back. And that is gonna be all I have to say about Corin. Follow the channel.